Hello Python programmers. In this video, we are going to create a Twitter auto-liker bot which will automatically like tweets for you which are related to a hashtag. Now the modules used are, first is Selenium, second is pyautogui, and third is Tkinter. Tkinter will be used for our GUI which will take input from the user. Selenium will be used to login and some of the JavaScript lines for scrolling of the screen, and then pyautogui to click on that heart button to like that tweet. So without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so let's first start off with the setup requirement. You already know that you need a stable Python installation. Other than that, first you need a WebDriver. We are going to use Gecko driver, which is for your Mozilla Firefox. Just search for Gecko driver. It's a C here. Then go to this GitHub link. GitHub link. Go down and down and down. Download the assets according to your operating system. If you are using Linux, then these two. If you are using Mac, then this one. And if you are using Windows, then choose according to your bit version. If you are 32, then this. If you are 64, then this. Download this, unzip this file, and then copy that executable file, not that zip one, the executable file. Go to C drive, users, then go for app data, local, then just a bit, go for programs, Python 36 is for me, and then copy paste your exe file here. I'm already having it, geckodriver.exe. Paste it here and you are good to go. And we also need a few modules, like I want selenium. I guess this is the spelling. Now for me it is already satisfied. You also need Tkinter. Sorry, it will be pip install Tkinter. It is installed for me. I don't know why this is showing up. Then you will have pip install pyautogui. Again, the requirement is already satisfied. Close your command prompt, come back to editor, create a new file here. I don't need to tell you that, 1.py. Now let's import our libraries first. Now our step 1 will be first to create the GUI. I will initiate my Tkinter module here. This is gonna be the height and width of our GUI. Make sure that this L is capital, and I'm writing here to create a label. Now let's grid or implement our label into our Tkinter window. At the row 0 and also the column 0, assume your Tkinter window as a matrix, and you are placing this email label at the row 0 and the column 0. And also we'll create the entry in which user will provide that email. Once again, this is a capital E. Here row is 0 and column is 6 because we want to display the entry widget just after our label. Then we'll create the label and entry for our password and for our hashtag in the same way we have done for our email. Now here the row is 2 because we want this password to come below the email one. This will also be 2 and the column will be 6. This is gonna be placed at the row 3rd and row 3rd. After that we need a button which will trigger the function which will perform our action of logging in and then liking the tweets. This is the name of our function which we'll be creating to perform our further action. This is the width of our button and the BG color or the color of our button will be gray. Now let's grid it into a GUI. At row 7 and column 4 actually, to make it at the center. Now let's close our main loop and now we have created our GUI. Now let's create our execute function here. This is gonna be the name of our function which will be used for login in, and the value which will be passed is first the value from our entry 1 which is our email, and then the value of the entry 2 which is the password. Now as we have saved it into this log variable, let's call our function login. Let's make it a more relatable name like Twitter bot. Now let's create the function for that login. Now all the two functions, like for the login and for the liking a tweet, will come into a class Twitter bot. This class here, it will come into a class Twitter bot. So let's first create the class Twitter bot here. Now we'll create our init function. Now let's create the variable which is self username and self password. Now let's create a variable bot for our WebDriver also. Now let's create our first login function. Now this bot will open the Firefox browser here and then search for this website, which is Twitter. Now we want this to rest or sleep for at least 5 seconds. Okay, so now let's inspect. Let me first log out from this. Yes, log out. And let me inspect this to get that what is the class or name for this username. Just a second. For this username and password entry field, and click on this, and then this username. So here you can see the class is different, but the name is session, username or input. Let me show you. The name here is session, username or email input. Now let's see what is for the password. The password, it is, the name is session password. So let's write it down into our program. For email, we want our bot to find element by name. This is the selector. We have many selector. We have select by name, select by class name, select by, I guess, XPath. There are many selectors here, but as you can see that we have a distinct name tag here, so we'll use name here. Find element by name. Let's write it down. We'll also clear the email field in case we have anything there, let's clear it. We'll clear the password also. Then after we have uh, sent the keys to these two input fields, we'll press an enter key to log in. So let's do that. Now here we have populated these two entry field, which is email and password, with our two variable email and password, which is extracted from our GUI. Now what we need is to press the enter key. We'll make our program again sleep for 10 seconds. Okay, so let's write the function which will search for that keyword and then like it. Let's name this function as like tweet. First we need to call here also in this execute function. Log dot like tweet, and the value which we are gonna provide is entry third dot get. So we are taking hashtag here from the entry third. Okay, so now again we are gonna enter the URL for our search, bot.get. Now let's create an infinite loop for liking our tweets here. Now we are going to use pyautogui to locate this heart button here. So I'm going to use then I'm going to use pyautogui locate center on screen command here. So pyautogui dot click, because of course you want to click that heart button. pyautogui dot locate this C is capital, center, this O is capital, and this S is capital. Enter on screen, and then the name of your, for me it is heart.png. So let's write heart.png here. .png. Now let's make it sleep for a few seconds. Time dot sleep. Then we want to scroll down our page here. Bot.execute. This is the JavaScript command. As I've told you, we are going to use the JavaScript command to scroll down our web page. Okay, so I guess we are good to go here. Let's save this file. Let me see if everything is good. Okay, let's save this file. Open up our PowerShell. Left click of the mouse plus shift. Save it, run it again. Okay, so let me enter my email ID, password, and email. I guess I haven't changed that. Okay, let's enter our email ID and password here, which I am not gonna show you because I am not gonna show my password here. Okay, so I'm getting an error here. It says that the name Twitter bot is not defined. Let us try keeping this class also above. Just cut it. And paste it here. Save this. No. Okay, so now our browser is open, Mozilla Firefox, and it's searching for Twitter. It has entered the email ID and password. Now we are logged in. Now it is searching for that hashtag pygame. Now let's hope our pyautogui works. Now this error is happening because this should be a, where is that script one? Because this should be a underscore. Run it again asking for my email ID and password. I think our pyautogui is not working. Let me see if there is any. Okay, so it seems like the heart image which I have taken was not up to the mark, so I have copied this one.png which I was using for creating my project, so I'll use that in the file, make it 1.png, save this, run it. First let's come out of this Python shell. So here you can see the page is scrolling, and at each page our mouse is going to that heart button and clicking it. So this is running perfectly. Okay, so this was it for this video, but I'm pretty sure that you want to create some more fun projects with Python, and I have created many of them. Some of them I have created videos also, so the links are all on your screen. Click on them and I'll meet you there.